Hello. Now we have something special. We have 3 community sessions. Those are presentations from the people from employee branding community who wanted to share with us some amazing new findings they have. So these sessions are a little bit shorter and we don't have Q&A. So first presentation gonna be from one very amazing person. She is positive psychology coach, consultant, speaker, and author. She improves well-being and develops leadership with scientifically based principles of positive psychology. Yes, that exists, and she will show us how we should do that in our company. Please welcome on the stage Ivana Štulović.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and share a little bit about my passion. So, as you heard, this is what I do. I develop well-being strategies with organizations and help them implement it. And I'm very passionate about what I do, and it's been almost 10 years now that I actually switched careers and left my corporate job to be doing this. Because I'm very passionate about it, you'll probably see me waving my arms around a lot. So a note for the photographers here, if you do manage to catch me in a normal pose, I will congratulate you later. So why are we talking about this? We're talking about it, and I'm passionate about it because I think it's really, really important. The way we do work nowadays isn't the best it could be, right? And there are some worrying statistics that I've gathered here to share with you today to just show you how important it all is. So, according to some surveys, 63% of people experience symptoms of burnout. 66% of people also say that work this year is more stressful than the year before. And 99% of people say that stress at work influences their mental health. To finish it all off, 80% of people say that work for them is a source of stress. So it doesn't really look good. And we've started to do something about it, but there's so much more that really needs to be done. And that's where employee well-being or workplace well-being comes in. So what is it? I'm sure you've heard this word many times, but perhaps you're not certain all that it entails. So here's a definition by the World Health Organization that explains what it's all about. So employers are supporting workplace well-being through tools, techniques, and skills that help employees manage their own physical and mental well-being, enabling them to reach their full potential at work and live healthy and balanced lives. So as you can see, work and fulfillment at work and potential is mentioned. However, we are speaking about healthy and balanced lives, which means that we look at our employees as a whole, as humans. And this is the topic of the event we are here in. And we actually need to, as employers, show by action and by word to our employees that we care. And once we show them that, a lot of benefits happen. So here are some findings. Employees who strongly agree that their employer cares about their overall well-being compared with those who do not are 3 times more likely to be engaged at work, 69% less likely to be actively searching for a new job, 71% less likely to report experiencing burnout, 5 times more likely to strongly advocate for their company. We heard about Nicole and that topic before. 5 times more likely to strongly agree that they trust the leadership of their organization, and 36% more likely to be thriving in their overall lives. So it really does matter what we do. Employers are not moms and dads to employees, but there's a lot we can do to actually care about the humans that work for us. And then there are, of course, business benefits as well. Gallup has found that teams most likely to feel like their organization cares about their well-being have higher customer engagement, higher profitability, higher productivity, lower turnover, and fewer safety incidents. So it's a win-win. If we take care about well-being of our employees, the business is better off and the employees themselves are in fact better off. So what does it look like in practice to take care of employee well-being? I'm sure you've seen pictures like these, and they're very Instagrammable. However, this is not the whole thing. Is it slides and ping pong tables? Sure, they're nice additions to perhaps making an office more comfortable, but that's not what a well-being strategy is. A well-being strategy is a well thought of thing that permeates the entire organization, is very much into the whole culture of how the organization breathes and works. And this is what I help companies think of and then implement. And if you're in HR, then you probably know that for everything that you try to advocate for, you need some hard data to back it up. So has been a lot of research on what's the return on investment if you do invest in employee well-being. And here's one report I'm going to share with you, and it has changed over the years, the numbers a little bit. So in 2017, this report showed that the return on investment for every pound invested was from 0.4, so even less, you could lose some money, or to 9, so 9 pounds gained for every pound invested. This is a UK report, so pounds are mentioned. And the average return on investment was 4.2 pounds. Then in 2020, it changed a little bit, and it actually grew the average ROI. And in 2023, this is very interesting, it started to also be negative. So some of the studies showed that you can actually lose money by investing, and that's why it needs to be well thought through what you do so that you gain the most traction. And this is the source of this report. By the way, I'm going to mention a lot of research in my talk, so if anybody wants to read more about it, just email me and I'll send you the link so you can look it up as well. So in general, what does work? Early interventions and prevention is what works. I have an example for you. There is a company that I've been working with for many years now that is doing a really great job on burnout prevention. They decided to train people on them, and I have groups coming in every quarter, and it's always a very small group that we do trainings with so that people are feeling more comfortable to share about a rather sensitive topic. But what they've done for the promotion of this activity is incredible. There was a company-wide event, and they have thousands of employees, where I was also a keynote speaker, where we spoke about burnout openly, but then 2 of their employees shared that they experienced burnout at that company. And it was manager level and employee level. So what they've done with that move is to show everybody that burnout really can happen to anyone, and then there is something that we should do to prevent it. What else works? Anything that is a company-wide initiative. So when all of the levels of the company, hierarchical-wise and sector-wise, are involved. Another client I had, during the pandemic, they realized that people are not feeling that well, obviously, and they offered resilience training to them. And first, it was a retailer, so it first was for the people who are most exposed to customers, and then later on it was for managers, and then it was for the managers of their managers, and it was a company-wide initiative to speak about psychological resilience and how you can build it up in a very tough time for everybody. Then activities that raise awareness. For example, on 10th of October is World Mental Health Day. And there are many companies that decide to speak openly about mental health on that day because employees need to feel safe to share if they have any mental health issues with their employers and not to feel stigmatized if they experience some trouble. And this is a rising trend that we speak more openly with our employees about something that probably some decades ago we would never even mention. A huge thing is to be investing in leaders. So leaders have been shown to be very important in the success of implementing well-being strategies. According to one study, as much as 70% of success of a well-being initiative depends on the leader. So is he or she a role model to their employees? Does he or she support the people who want to participate in some activities, or is it frowned upon if they lose time from work? There was also a big meta-analysis of 49 studies over 30 years of research that proved that leaders can actually manage stress and prevent stress for their employees and help them increase their well-being. So it is very important what we do with our leaders. Then you should have a portfolio of support. What does that mean? Not everybody has the same needs. If a company organizes a fitness challenge, for some it will be great, for some it will be, the last thing they want to participate in. Then if companies offer psychotherapy, some will get involved, some will not. If a company organizes volunteering event, which also has been proven to boost well-being, some will really like it and want to participate, and some not so much. So you need to have a portfolio of different types of support that you're offering to your employees. And lastly, it needs to be a culture fit. For example, when Goldman Sachs, which is a very famous US company, was doing mindfulness training, they decided to market it internally as something that will give their employees a competitive edge. So they didn't speak about well-being and how it's going to help them be more calm. They offered something that will reduce their focus and productivity, because that's what the culture is all about in their company. Okay, so everything like this needs to be considered in order for it to make it successful. And on the other hand, what doesn't work when you just tick off a box, you hear a good strategy from another company, and you just copy and paste it and think it will work for you. For example, if you do, I don't know, yoga classes, for some, again, it works. For some, it's really not a good fit for your culture. In positive psychology, one thing we use a lot for developing these strategies is called the PERMA model. It was devised by Martin Seligman, who is the founder of positive psychology, as a field that explores the optimal human flourishing and everything that is well about life, work, and society. So, by the way, positive psychology isn't positive thinking, if somebody thought that. So PERMA consists of 5 parts: positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. And sometimes an H for health is added there. And if you engage in these, let's say, in initiatives that support the elements of this, you will gain more effectiveness. And a little example from boosting positive emotions, it has to do with appreciation. Some other speakers also mentioned it. We need more appreciation in the workplace. According to some studies, as much as 2/3 of people that leave a company say they did because they didn't feel valued and appreciated at work. So, for example, I deliver a lot of training where leaders are taught how to be better at appreciating people and not just taking them for granted. And there could be many more examples to share, but I don't have that much time. So, in the end, I want to share some emerging trends in this field. One has to do with working parents. Why? Because there is a rise of mental health issues for the young people. I'm sure you're noticing it, but if you have, for example, a son or daughter, you probably are looking for a therapist for them and you can't find one because everybody's booked up. Okay, so there's almost an epidemic happening of young people and mental health issues. And people who are working parents, as much as half of them are saying that the concern they have for their child is something that's affecting their productiveness at work. So companies are growing their circle of concern not only to their employees, but to their families as well. Another trend is going digital, so using apps or LMSs or e-learning materials to help employees dive into these topics whenever they can, even outside of working hours. And initiatives that are holistic. So when we speak about well-being, as you said, healthy and balanced lives, it entails a lot of things. Also, for example, financial well-being. So we had an example of a telecommunication company that is delivering financial literacy training to their employees, because it does affect their overall well-being. So whatever is more holistic and takes the whole human into consideration is going to be more successful. So the key messages of what I had to share with you today are: well-being should be seen as a responsibility of the employer, not anymore just as something somebody does because they want to or because they like it. It's a responsibility full for the world we live in to take care of the humans that work for us. Also, as employees, as a workforce, we expect it now. As much as 2/3 of people say that having well-being as part of the company culture is one of the key factors for them to decide whether to take a job or not. Okay, so whoever is employer branding company now really needs to include it also in what is offered to employees. If you want to know what to offer, you need to talk to your employees, okay? Because if you don't, then you're probably not going to make a good fit for whatever it is you're offering. And if you do this well, it's going to pay off for everybody, the company and the employees. So those are the messages I wanted to share with you today. I would like for us to connect definitely on LinkedIn. For those of you who are from the Balkans, I'm also an author. If you like reading books, you can look me up. And what I wanted to share last is that if your company has a really good well-being practice, please get in touch with me and share it so that I can feature it in a community event that we have in the Adriatic where we share good practices so that we can learn from each other. Thank you.